So there's always a lot of talk around machine portability. In fact, if you had looked at the conversation that we had about the legacy applications, we were talking about the ability to move workloads back and forth inside of vCloud Air. And again, as we mentioned, vCloud Air uses vSphere as its foundation. So when you're getting vCloud Air, you're getting a vSphere data center for rent, so it's capable of handling all of those operating systems. If we want to look very quickly at the fundamentals of machine portability, let's give kind of a 101 into that. So we see here we've got a data center and we've got what could be a virtual private cloud or a dedicated cloud. It really wouldn't matter for this conversation. We know that both of them are running vSphere. And we know that we have a workload that we want to move from point A to point B. So we've got different means by which we can utilize this sort of machine portability. The simplest is utilizing vCloud Connector. vCloud Connector gives us the capacity to move a workload from point A to point B. So we could call that a migrate. We're able to migrate that workload out. And again, if we looked at the licensing conversation, we also have to be cognizant of the type of workload and the type of destination that we're using. But for now, let's just assume that we're moving a workload from point A to point B. This also means that we could move that workload not only into vCloud Air, but using vCloud Connector could move that workload into other clouds as well. So now that workload is becoming significantly more portable. And once it's out in the cloud, doesn't mean that that's where it has to stay. It also has the ability to move back. Again, going to our conversation about legacy applications where we said sometimes a workload born in the cloud or arrives in the cloud doesn't necessarily stay in the cloud. This is where we need to have solutions wrapped around the ideas of true machine portability. There are lots of different options for what can happen with those machines once they're out there. And when the machine's out, we can ensure that it will be secured and that we're able to allow customers to bring their own security model or adopt our own, including features inside of the Edge Gateway, firewall, DHCP, NAT translation, load balancing, and the rest. But if they want to integrate with their own security system or their own load balancing system, they can do that too. Machine portability carries further when we look at the idea of vCloud Air as an endpoint. vCloud Air has the ability to serve as an endpoint for things like vRealize automation. Meaning that customers, and by customers could be users, could be people in other departments, anyone that's accessing your resources, they can request resources and then have those resources provided to them based upon policy in either the physical data center or the cloud. All based upon what's going to be most cost efficient, what's most performant inside of that solution. Once those workloads are created, again, they can be secured, applied with their own security or ours, and those workloads can retain their portability moving back into the primary data center or moving into other clouds. The ideas of machine portability are foundational to understanding vCloud Air and to looking at it not just as another cloud resource, but as a fluid, flexible pool of resources that can be utilized in collaboration with the existing investments customers have already made inside of their infrastructure. Thanks again as always for taking the time to join me today. Hope you found value in these sessions, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and to connect with your VMware blogs, your local account representatives and engineers, so they can tell you more about these fantastic products.